I'm sensing a storm is coming. They're calling me out to play. Got a feeling I'm gonna win, and they think that I don't have game. I know before I've had a few falls, I've got dirt all on my face. Baby, today I'm gonna win, and you're gonna remember my name. You're gonna remember my name. Gonna remember my name. I've got a feeling you're gonna remember my name.
Hello, and welcome to Supt Scoop. My name is Dr. Kenneth Hamilton, Superintendent of Schools, and your host. Supt Scoop is a monthly conversation between students, stakeholders, and administrators to give the Mount Vernon community greater insight into the Mount Vernon City School District. In this episode, we will give you information and insight into our fiscal plan for excellence for the 2015-2016 school year. Joining me today will be our Assistant Superintendent for Business, Mr. Ken Silver. It is important for us to provide transparency to our constituents as it pertains to funding programs and, most importantly, how we will ensure academic and rich experiences for all of our students. Next, we will stop by Parker Elementary School. Parker is receiving the 2015 Legacy Award from the Westchester Community County Chapter for the Lynx in appreciation for their outstanding service to children in the Mount Vernon City School District. Its long-standing partnership with the Lynx and its partnership with Colgate-Palmolive Company's Bright Smiles, Bright Future teams. This award recognizes the Parker administration and in the improving the quality of health care for children. Later, we will take you behind the scenes for the district's new musical, The Wiz, with Mrs. Evelyn Collins, our Director of Gifted, Talented, and the Arts. We welcome your feedback and ideas for future Supt Scoop episodes. Please feel free to contact us by way of email at the address you see below.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
Hello, and welcome back to Supt Scoop. Joining me now is our Assistant Superintendent for Business, Mr. Ken Silver. Ken, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about our fiscal plan for academic excellence. Ken has been instrumental in putting together our plan for reaching academic excellence through the fiscal process. So talk to us a little bit about what the process has been like in developing this fiscal plan for excellence.
This process, unlike processes from the past, was done as a zero base. We started not assuming anything. We began from scratch. We developed our own template for how things should look. We gave these to the principals and to other administrators. Everybody had to ask for what they wanted, and then they all had to meet with you and with the senior administration to defend what they wanted. All departments had to do that, and we built the budget based on not assuming anything.
So you're a very experienced business administrator. So talk to me about the different kinds of approaches. There's a rollover approach, there's a zero-based approach. Talk to me about those two approaches and why we elected to go with zero-base.
The main approach is one which uses everything from the past and just rolls it over, as you're saying, into the next year. Everything is assumed to be the same but to cost more. And there's little thought as to what the pieces are and how the pieces change. We decided, as all of us being new here, that we should start from scratch, that we should assume nothing and build our own budget from scratch.
It's my hope that using that approach will create greater transparency and greater trust between the public and the school district and bridge the gap that will help us to be more collaborative in our planning to reach fiscal excellence. So let's move on now to talk a little bit about our presentation. So this plan includes the backbone of our district, those folks who work behind the scenes as volunteers to create the school district. And they are our board trustees, our president, Mr. Elias Gusite, Dr. Ning, Mrs. Brenda L. Crump, Charmaine Ferrone, Rosemarie Jaros, Omar McDowell, Darcy Miller, Adrian Saunders, and Mrs. Frances Wynn. And we have to give special recognition to our Fiscal Planning Committee, which is chaired by Mr. McDowell and co-chaired by Mrs. Darcy Miller, and of course our community representatives. Our vision statement really serves as the foundation upon which we build our budget. The Mount Vernon City School District will be a high-quality educational system where all students receive a well-rounded education that educates the whole child, attending to their academic, social, and emotional strengths and their needs. This vision statement was extracted from the strategic plan that represented hundreds of people who participated in a very elaborate process. The vision statement goes on to talk about the district's commitment to provide consistent leadership and engage the community in ongoing communication with all stakeholders and community members on decision making. District leadership, community members, and all stakeholders will be committed to addressing the academic gap and helping to achieve the issues faced in our community by closing the poverty gap and supporting equitable opportunities for all students. The statement goes on to talk about our commitment to our students to help them feel confident and positive about themselves so that they will be proud to say that they are members of this school system, where employees will be proud to say that they work here, and where the community will be proud to say that they live in the great city of Mount Vernon. Our mission statement reads as follows. The Mount Vernon Public School District strives to allow students to develop character and self-respect, a feeling of pride in their work, a sense of self-worth, the ability to get along with others, an understanding of citizenship, and the capacity for utilizing information. The executive summary for our budget is very simple. Our desire is to develop a fiscal plan that has been carefully developed to ensure alignment with board goals and the superintendent's vision for the future. The mandated budget gap presents some challenges which require budgetary items that need to be infused into the educational plan. This includes contractual obligations, an increase in health benefits, support for the K-8 reconfiguration plan in 2 of our schools, which requires additional staffing, restoring full-time nurses to every school, adding guidance counselors, improving professional development, creating systems for increased accountability and efficiencies, and raising expectations for staff and students. We have included these additional expenses within the confines, and we are proud to present a fiscal plan to you that has no impact on the local taxpayer. Additionally, it is imperative that we continue to address facility capital needs in the district. Our failure to do so will only manifest itself later with an even higher capital investment requirement. While this budget is increasing proportionately, the tax impact will be unchanged. We have worked to create the delicate balance between reaching for excellence, restoring public confidence without overburdening the taxpayer. We believe that we have created a win-win situation in this fiscal plan for academic excellence. Our board goals are directly connected to this fiscal plan. Goal 1, continually improving student achievement by raising the level of challenge for all of our students. All students will have access to challenging, rigorous instructional programs based on the Common Core standards that are embedded with high levels of skill and critical thinking. Board Goal 2 is to support and sustain a high-performing, talented workforce. We desire to create a highly skilled, positive teaching environment for developing, recruiting, and retaining the most talented staff while supporting a culture of professional growth and innovation. Goal 3. We want to actively engage parents and the community. We want to be sure that we engender trust with the community and parents through frequent, clear, transparent communication on all school-related issues and opportunities. Board Goal 4, to create safe, disciplined, state-of-the-art environments. Our desire is to provide a positive school environment essential to academic success and high rates of staff retention so that teachers, staff, and students may all feel safe, secure, and connected to their school. Board Goal 5, to promote innovative and fiscally responsible management. We want to optimize the use of resources for student support development and ensure a robust, long-term plan through prudent stewardship of resources, consistent leadership, and informed communication on decision-making opportunities. This fiscal plan really reaches out to address the concerns that we have heard from our constituents and the members of our community. So how will the district implement an educational plan to ensure student success? This is our primary focus. We want to ensure that we are providing quality educational programs, specifically early intervention, middle school programs, and high school reform. This multi-tiered approach gives us the opportunity to ensure that we are connecting programs and services to improve outcomes for all of our students. How will the district effectively communicate with the school community and the public? We have a plan in place to improve communication, and we'll talk more about that as we go through our presentation. How will the district increase accountability and efficiency? So we want to make certain that we're being transparent. And one way to do that is to make certain that we are being responsible stewards over the local taxpayers. And we want to do this by ensuring that our capital improvement projects are being completed in a fashion that represents high quality workmanship and fiscal responsibility. And how does the budget address building and maintenance plans? We have created a plan that allows us to expand our K-8 reconfiguration, particularly at Pennington School, and we are very excited to be able to announce that we are certain we'll be able to get our pool open and get things back in order the way they once were. Another question that we often get as a priority, which comes right from our budget committee, is how will the district implement an educational plan to ensure student success? Our goal is to close the achievement gap. This exists specifically between youngsters who have special education needs and general education students, those youngsters who have a 504 plan or other learning challenges, and making certain that we are addressing the needs of all kids across the continuum of learning. We want to ensure that we improve our graduation rates and offer more diverse programs so we can encourage attendance and engagement. We are excited to announce that we will be restoring our career and technology programs and career and college opportunities for our youngsters. And certainly, we want to raise the underperforming schools in our district so that our students have the benefit of a quality educational program, and this budget addresses those needs. What have we accomplished in the last 6 months? This new administration has been focused on really bringing some primarily key programs to our district that helps us to be competitive. RTI, which is response to intervention, we've started retraining the entire district, principals and staff, so that we are standardizing practices that are rooted to this highly effective program. PBIS, which is Positive Behavior Intervention Systems. We have an exemplar in our district at Longfellow Elementary School that we're looking to emulate throughout the district. Improving technology, ILIT research in particular, we're using this data to help us understand how well our children are doing using a digital formative instructional tool for quantitative research studies for literacy in grades 4, 7, and 9. We continue to look at special education, how we can improve our services to our most needy students, and recognizing that there are students at the other end of the continuum as well that need supports. So we are enhancing our gifted and talented programs and implementing a new talent magnet proposal for our middle school program. We are aligning and synchronizing elementary, middle, and high school schedules to make sure that there is a spiraling effect in terms of what children need to be exposed to in order to have the necessary prerequisites for middle and high school courses. Our curriculum is continuing to be the process that we use to align our district curriculum with the Common Core. We know we have to improve communication with our public, so we are looking specifically at how we will engage public relations and communication specialists to assist us in this endeavor. We will create an app for mobile devices so that folks can click on their device and get information about what's going on in our district. We are developing a comprehensive public relations plans around events and achievements, and we are increasing principal accountability for parental engagement.
We are trying to increase the process of communication within the community and within the school. We are reaching out to stakeholders in the school district by having a bi-monthly newsletter, Twitter, a Mount Vernon High School television production studio, board docs, and district webpage. The budget template, as we discussed before, but we are creating it with accountability, communication, efficiency. We are expanding the pre-K program, which has previously depended on just grant to fund that portion partially ourselves. We are increasing partnerships with local colleges and community agencies, such as City Youth Bureau, Mercy College, and the College of New Rochelle.
We are pleased to announce that we are also engaging in partnership with Lincoln Tech, who will help augment the programs and services that we are implementing to restore career and technology education. We are looking to identify best practices related to exemplar buildings, heightening security at each of our district facilities, creating small learning communities at our high school, professional development for our security personnel, and installing high-grade security cameras indoors and outdoors to increase security. We've also been working to improve instructional leadership. We've increased oversight and supervision at the building level to ensure continuity of instructional practices across the district. We are working to rebrand our district to restore public confidence and developing a better relationship with the New York State Department of Education. Additionally, we've revamped the teacher and principal evaluation system. We've moved to an electronic system for completing observations. This will streamline the process and ensure greater accuracy with recording and reporting data. We are looking to improve the tremendous amount of paper that is used, and we're archiving old records and reducing paper consumption. We've met guidelines for the appropriate use of the efficiency grant regarding renovations to the business office to make it more effective and efficient. Additionally, we are maintaining a central schedule that includes timeline for building repairs and prioritizing programs over the next 3 years, providing incentives to increase curb appeal at each school and improve recreational and sports program, including adding an athletic program at our middle schools. So how does this budget address building and maintenance repairs? And Ken Silva will talk about this for us.
One of the things we decided to do was to rebid all of our service contracts for the district. So we went out to bid, we have lower prices now, and we have contractors on staff who will be able to help us without going out each time for a new contract. We've hired a facilities director, eliminating an outside company that provided those facilities services. Now our inside facilities director is an employee of the school district who really cares about improving our facilities. We have addressed many of the facility issues that we have, but it didn't get this way overnight, and things aren't going to be fixed overnight. It's going to take 3 to 5 years to do everything we need to do. And we are also continuing our K-8 transition plan, where we will have 8th grade this coming year at Pennington and Graham schools.
There are several reductions that have occurred over throughout our budget cycles over the several years, and we are working to restore them. And as we progress through this presentation, you can view these in greater detail at your leisure. Class size has increased, for example. Guidance counselors had previously been reduced. Nurses have been reduced. And these reductions have significantly impacted the services. So we are restoring those. Our guidance counselors have been added back into our budget. The additional nursing staff, technology staff, art and music programs. We have done a lot in this spending plan in order to be more fiscally responsible and create the delicate balance between restoring some of these programs, the confidence of our public, and being fiscally responsible. This plan includes preparation for state assessments, athletic and co-curricular programs, recognizing the importance of teaching our children how to respect one another through the Dignity for All Students Act. We know that we have to better assess our youngsters so that we have some indication of where we are and where we need to go. And the dynamic indicator of basic early literacy skills, or DIBELS, gives us the opportunity to do that. We know that it is important for our children to be well-rounded, and we want to get them as early as possible. So this spending plan has a proposal in place to expand pre-K programs and offer some full-day seats to many of our students. AVID is a program we are extremely excited about. There are children all across the continuum of academic achievement, and the ones that are in the middle are often overlooked. AVID is designed specifically to address the needs of the kids in the middle. We know that technology is important, and we're looking at best practices in digital learning through curriculum and instruction, use of time, technology upgrades, and professional learning, including distance learning opportunities for our children.
We have done many things to make ourselves better fiscally. We are refinancing now one of our bonds from a few years ago, and we will be saving something like $80,000 a year in our interest expenses for the next 15 years. We have used some of our reserves, our restricted reserves, to offset some of the tax increases. We've rebid contracts. We are a long-term plan for facilities. We are working on energy conservation. One of the things we're trying to do is to have a new natural gas supplier, which will reduce our cost for natural gas. We have agreements with our bargaining units, we're sharing services with others, and we're having our staff be more efficient by doing other jobs. We are required by the governor's law to have ongoing efficiencies that will exceed or be equal to $1.3 million. This is 1% of our taxes. The taxes will remain the same as we've said, and $1.3 million is what we have to have as an efficiency. Right now, through the items listed below, we are up to almost $4 million in ongoing sustainable efficiencies that will be continued through the year 18-19. Some of these things are we've changed the way we're billing our Medicare, Medicaid. We are doing cooperative purchasing through BOCES. We have an in-house architect now so that we don't have to go out for an architect every time we need work. We've also developed a more efficient way of routing our buses.
So there's some key budgetary considerations that have been a part of this planning. That includes minimizing the impact on the local tax levy, having a plan in place that looks not just at the current budget season that we are in, but looking long-term as well. And we want to know what impact this has. We want to be fiscally responsible, so we have made significant reductions in attorney fees. We've made some decisions about how to utilize administrative staff, and there are some other non-essential positions that we've eliminated in order to create this win-win situation. There are several types of aid that we receive in our district. Mr. Silva will talk a moment about some of the aid.
There are two major aids, one on the first line and one on the last line. The governor's proposal has given us a large increase in our state aid. However, we must always be mindful that much of this increase in our state aid is money that was previously taken away from us and is now being given back. In particular is the last item, the gap elimination adjustment. The gap elimination adjustment was created when the state didn't have enough money to cover their own budget. And so they've taken millions of dollars through the years from us. So far, it's $47 million has been taken from us. This current year, they took $7 million. Next year, they're only taking $933,000. So part of our increase in aid is that we're getting $6 million back that was taken away previously. This chart shows the aid that was taken through the years through this gap elimination adjustment, totaling some $47 million. The other type of aid is foundation aid, where that's our basic state aid, and we have $1 million increase in that. But overall, we've lost $69 million in funds that should have been given to us through the years.
This slide shows the accumulating effect of the implementation of foundation aid over the last several years. Our sources of revenue are generated as following. 35% of our revenue source comes from the state, 58% comes from the property tax, 3% is from other revenue sources, and 4% is represented from our fund balance. 82% of our budget is devoted to instruction, curriculum instruction and staffing, which directly impacts teaching and learning. When you have an opportunity at your leisure, there is information on our website that gives you a detailed version of exactly how the money has been allocated for this plan to reach academic excellence. If you do not have access, you can certainly come into the district office where a hard copy will be provided for you. There are some mandates that we are required to have in our budget. These are non-negotiables. There are some expenses associated with the charter schools that are in our community and surrounding community. We have health insurance that has had a significant increase, and there are Social Security, workers' comp, and other sorts of benefits that we have to have in this plan. We are also obligated to make certain that we have in place a new statewide curriculum model aligned with career and college readiness, early warning systems for students that are at risk, and the implementation of state-mandated assessments. State aid, fund balance, and assessables are a key component in what goes into calculating the state rate and the tax rate. So what can I expect as a taxpayer? Again, we have created a win-win situation. We have heard the voices of the members of our community. We recognize the needs of our students, and we understand that we have a huge task in order to turn this district around and to do so in a manner that has a minimal impact on the local taxpayer. And we've created that in this fiscal plan for academic excellence. What can you do? You can help us accomplish these goals. You can help us by getting the word out, getting people involved in the school system so that this collaborative process to turn Mount Vernon around is a reality. We are well on our way. This is a prime opportunity in Mount Vernon to turn this school district around, but we need your help, we need your support, and we need voices. Your voice matters. So we presented this very broad, global fiscal plan for academic excellence, and there are folks in our community who want the bottom line. So what does this mean in terms of our total spending, total increase, including all the mandates, and the impact on the local taxpayer?
Including everything we have, everything we've done, the budget will be about $230 million, up about $3.4 million from the current year. This represents no increase in the tax levy, and it represents a 1.5% increase in the budget itself from year to year.
And what impact does that have on the local taxpayer in comparison? Because I think one of the questions that people will want to know is, how have you increased the budget? How have you added all these great things into the plan, and it has no impact on the local taxpayer?
So with the taxes remaining stable, as the tax levy itself, the $134 million in taxes that we have. Everything is included by removing things that were non-essential. And again, by doing our zero-based budget, it allowed us to start from scratch, take out the things we didn't need, provide for everything we did need, and still move forward with the best educational plan, I believe, that's been in Mount Vernon for many years.
Well, I can't thank you enough for joining us today. I want to again thank our budget planning committee and our board for supporting this effort, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Information on hot water heating.
No. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out the words.
World music, playing track now.
No.
Let me try. Our daughter gets confused about which details in a story are important.
Which paper towels are most absorbent?
What?
Here are 5 product reviews.
Why are you not getting me?
See, I told you.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Welcome back to Soup Scoop. Joining us now is Evelyn Collins, our Director of Arts and Gifted and Talented Programs. So thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
It's awesome to see our kids preparing for the big production. What's that like for you?
Well, you know, it's been a lot of work, and we started 3 months ago, and we had the opportunity to go to all 3 high schools, and from those 3 high schools, we were able to select some of the most talented kids in the district. So for me personally, it's been a thrill.
Well, you know, let's talk a little bit about your background and what prepares you to be here today acting in this capacity, not just as a director of this production, but your role in the district as well.
Well, starting in kindergarten, I started acting. So it started there, and from there, I majored in acting in undergrad. Then I got my master's in directing for the theater. Then I got an MFA in producing for the theater. And then I went and segued into education. So I took education and the performing arts, and I brought them together. Because I'm passionate about the arts, but I'm also passionate about education.
And that's a perfect marriage for what we're trying to create here in the district. So We know the arts are often compromised, particularly when budgets are compromised. The arts and music programs are the first to go. What is your vision as the director of this initiative to restore the arts program in our community, and where do you see it going? What are the plans?
Well, you know, we're at a very good place right now because across the country, the arts are being valued again. So we notice that most districts are trying to incorporate the arts because they recognize the importance of educating the whole child. So for us, it's for me, especially as a dream job come true, because I get a chance to bring back dance, vocal music, instrumental music, theater. We already have visual arts, but to enhance that as well. So the vision for the district is to ensure that every student, starting from the kindergarten all the way to the 12th grade, have an opportunity to explore the arts.
One of the things I discovered in my short time in the district is the wealth of talent that our children have, and so much of that talent has been untapped. What has been the preparation that got us to the point now where we have a cast and we have this incredible ensemble of gifted children? What's the audition process been like, and all the background work that goes into pulling it together?
Well, we had to start off by we started at Mount Vernon High School, and we had 2 days of auditions, and then we traveled to Mandela High School. We had 2 days there as well, and then we were at Thornton High School. So after we selected our cast, now keep in mind our cast was at 50 initially, but because of the requirements for being in a production like this, the commitment, the involvement in terms of being creative and all of that good stuff, we lost some of the kids. So what you're going to see on the stage will be the cream of the crop. You're going to see some of the most talented kids in the district who have made a commitment to be here 5 days a week from 3 o'clock until 6:30 in the evening. So the process started with the audition, and then I brought in experts. So, for example, we have Angela Hall, who's a teacher in the district, and she teaches the vocals for the actors. And then we have Monica Johnson, who's a choreographer out of New York City. So she came in and she taught them the movement and the choreography. Across the hall right now, I have my costume designer who's making all of the costumes for every character in the show. She's a retired teacher from fashion industry. She now lives in South Carolina, but she came back to work on our production. We also have Janet Rush, who's an art teacher in the district, and she's building the set and designing everything for that. And then Antoinette Tynes, who's a professional lighting designer, who's assembled all of the lighting that you see here. And then we're flying in next week, the magnificent Alvin Waddles, who's going to music direct the show. So you have all of that expertise, and then you're going to bring in the band members, who are also professionals. But our hope is one day to have our children play the music. So that's what we're building towards, having our orchestra consist of students in Mount Vernon.
So this is Broadway worthy.
This is Broadway worthy.
Well, talk about the date, talk about the reception, talk about what you anticipate the crowd to be like.
Well, I'm hoping, and we've worked really hard on this, we've invited some of the cream of the crop in the entertainment industry. We hope that they're here opening night for our pre-show gala, our red carpet event. And we're going to decorate the lobby, and it's going to be fabulous, and you'll be there, of course, and others from the district. But what our hope is that they'll come in and they'll see what it is we're doing in the district. We're not asking them for anything. We just want them to see what it is we're doing, and then maybe some way along, later on, they can support us in our endeavors.
So what happens after the Wiz? What's next?
What's next? So we're going to do Mount Vernon's Got Talent. So that's going to be a major showcase to give students an opportunity who perhaps are not comfortable acting, but they sing, they dance, they tap, they rap, they play an instrument, just to showcase the talent that's here in Mount Vernon. So that'll be an audition process. We'll present it here in this auditorium again, and we'll use the funds for the next show. And then what we're hoping to do next year is to have 2 shows. So in the fall, have a straight show, a drama, and then in the spring, have the big musical.
Excellent. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit and talk about your other role in the district, and that is revamping our gifted and talented program. What work has been done so far to get us ready for that?
My goodness, the first 6 months of my tenure here, I had to do a host of research because I wanted to ensure that the program we put into place is authentic and it's rigorous, and because I know the parents expect that. And so a lot of research was put into that, selecting an assessment so that we can assess all of our students in grades K through 3. And then after we get those scores back, that'll give us a sense of, do we have a gifted and talented population? I'm hoping that we have a large population. I'm not certain what it's going to be, but we'll find out in May.
And what about the Performing Arts Magnet School that's in preparation?
That's close to my heart. To have the opportunity to create a Performing Arts Magnet program I mean, what artist wouldn't love to have that opportunity? So what we're doing, we're creating a performing arts magnet program that'll start with grade 6, and then each year we add a grade until we reach capacity at the 12th grade. And so the students will audition in theater, dance, vocal music, instrumental music, and the fine arts. And then from that pool of students, we'll have our first cohort of 6th graders in September.
Wow. Well, I can't thank you enough for what you're doing to the district. I am so glad that you're a part of this new administration and helping to bring this dream, this vision to fruition. And we look forward to the Wiz and all the other great things that are in store for us. Thank you so much for joining us on
It's my
Supt.
pleasure.
Thank you. And we'll be right back.
And I'm Director of the Arts and Gifted and Talented for Mount Vernon City School District. Now, one of my first tasks as Director of the Arts was to put together a fabulous production. So what play did I go to? Nothing other than The Wiz. The Wiz is a magical journey that takes Dorothy and 3 of her friends on a quest to meet the Wiz. We're putting on a district-wide production that features students from Mandela, Mount Vernon, and Thornton High School. We want you to come and go on this magical journey with us. Tickets on sale now. And be sure to like our page on Facebook, The Wiz in Mount Vernon.
But thank you for coming out today. The links, as Mary Bell said, Mrs. Bell said, has been around for 65 years in Westchester County. So in those 65 years, we focused on service to the community. We have a variety of things that we do from a program perspective based on the needs in the community. So we do needs assessments every year, and we have a combination of locally things that we create, but also the global organization, our national organization, and they bring out programs and resources, and we implement some of those here as well. So in honor of our 65th anniversary, we've been doing a lot of service in Westchester, increased service this year. In fact, we had an objective that we typically do about 48 hours of service a year per member or more. And this year we asked all of the members to do 65 hours. And so far about 92% have done 65 hours or more. Most have been more. But part of our celebration is to reach back and recognize our partners. Because as you know, nothing is successful unless you have the right team together working on it. And we've been very fortunate in Westchester County in having some great partners. And the Parker School was one of the earliest partners that helped us to get into the dental van screening education program with Colgate-Palmolive. So in fact, you were one of the first schools that we did that program with. And as a result of your involvement in it, we've since expanded to all of the schools in Mount Vernon. So we have, we've worked in all of the grade schools in Mount Vernon on the dental van. I don't have the statistics on the number of students that have gone through with screenings and treatment, but it is significant. So because of that and your dedication and your focus, and you've been such a great partner in the past, and we hope that we can continue a relationship, we did want to give you a legacy award today. We have a great little award, but we don't have it with us. We had a little mishap. But the main thing is we just want to say thank you for your partnership. And so the culmination of our celebration is June 7th, where we have an event called Java and Jazz. And this year is Java and Jazz presents 65 years of legacy in Westchester. It's at the VIP Country Club in New Rochelle, and we'll send you an invitation. It would be great if you could come out and join us. But and what we're going to do from today and all of the recognition of the awards is to put it into a video. which will be shown at the event. And we actually have our national president of the Lynx coming in for that event. She's in California, but she's flying in just for that event. So it's a really big deal for us, and we're just glad to share it with our partners.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thank you. And we are really on the verge of some major, major progress in the district. We really, really are.
We'd like to continue to be a partner.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for joining us on Supt Scoop. Our next edition will feature our students who are nominated for the valedictorian and salutatorian positions in their respective schools, and to talk more about our fiscal plan for excellence for the coming school year. See you next time on Supt Scoop.